Did you know that now kids as young as 10 years old can hunt big game animals here in Alberta? Did you know that centerfire 22 cartridges like 223, 22-250, or 22 Creedmoor are now legal for big game? Hey everyone, in this quick video we're going to be taking you through some of the key changes that have happened to Alberta's Wildlife Act and hunting regulations officially adopted in May but implemented here on August 1st, 2025. And since we always emphasize safe, ethical, and legal hunting and fishing, we thought the least we could do is help spread the word, because as we've mentioned already, some of this stuff is pretty substantial. So be sure to check the links in the description below or scan the QR code in the corner of the screen right now and it'll take you to the provincial government's website, which will outline every single change that was made, because I think there's almost 40 of them. Firstly, to qualify as an Alberta resident, a hunter must have at least 6 months of primary residence here in Alberta. This is in addition to existing requirements for Canadian permanent resident status or citizenship, or 12 months of residence in Canada preceding the relevant date. Next, for youth hunters, the minimum age has been dropped to 10 years old. So, youth aged 10 and older can now apply for big game draws and hold a big game license. And this is actually pretty exciting. In my opinion, I think it's great that we're sharing the sport with more people. I'm just a little hesitant about some of the psychology that goes into hunting and killing an animal. But hey, I don't have kids, so I can only comment so much. But parents, if you're at all interested in the emotional roller coaster that is hunting and you want to share it with your kids before they pull that trigger for the first time, check out Arliss's video right here called "I Don't Know Why This One Made Me Sad." It's a really interesting hunting story about the emotions that a hunter actually goes through and faces during this sport. Don't worry, we're going to link that video up again at the end of this video, or you can click the card in your corner of your screen now to go right to it. Moving on to section 2, and this is where it gets really interesting, I think anyways. Prohibited ammunition for hunting big game is now all rimfire ammunition and all centerfire ammunition with a bullet size less than 22 caliber. That means that a centerfire 22 cartridge like the 223, the 22-250, or the 22 Creedmoor are now legal for big game. I'm thinking maybe this is part of the whole younger hunters initiative, because honestly, I wouldn't really hesitate if a younger hunter wanted to fire off a 22-250, but they ain't touching my 308. Like, that's just way too much gun. That requires a lot more practice, confidence, and education when it comes to handling that caliber of firearm. Like, that is just, there's just way too much gun there, and life is way too fragile to take the chance. The minimum bow draw weight has now been reduced to 35 pounds at a 28-inch draw. Also, the crossbow permit is no longer needed, but those hunters still wishing to hunt with a crossbow in archery season must still demonstrate medical justification. The medical assessment form must still be carried and be signed by your authorized medical provider, practitioner, doctor. Next, the rules about dogs and some specific species. Now, we have very little experience when it comes to hunting with dogs, aside from Callie, our skeet chasing chocolate lab. So this is definitely not our wheelhouse to comment on. Just please remember that hunting big game with while being accompanied by a dog, there's rules that you have to follow, okay? At specific times of year, September and October, you can now hunt black bear with a dog in the following WMUs between September and October. And this is part of the whole conservation's attempt to increase caribou populations in those areas. So they're encouraging or allowing September and October for you to hunt black bears with dogs. I've never done it. I'm not going to comment on it. I have no input on it. I would never do it, but nonetheless, these are the rules that we have to follow. Muskrats and double-crested cormorants can now be hunted by landowner, or an occupant, or a resident authorized in writing by the owner or occupant without a license on private land. That's pretty cool. We're going to go over what's required of you to harvest from them here in a bit, but I think this is really cool because how many thousands upon thousands of these things do you see at the lakes now? It's actually quite astonishing. And after all, this is the game of conservation. Plus, another new change is you now may shoot at migratory game birds from an unanchored powered boat. However, the boat cannot be moving due to the momentum from the engine or the sail. Now for section 4, recovery and tagging rules. Hunters must recover, if fit, the 4 quarters of the animal, the loins and neck from big game, and the breasts from game birds. And for black bears and cougars, you're allowed to abandon the skin as long as the edible meat is properly recovered and tagged, but you cannot waste both the skin and the meat. Finally, a mishmash, section 5. A few more changes that didn't really fall into one of the other categories, such as residents may also purchase additional licenses in undersubscribed draws, meaning you could get potentially multiple licenses for certain animals. So when they send you those emails on undersubscribed tags in the province, make sure you click on those and look, because sometimes there's really good opportunities inside those undersubscribed tags. Bait station signs, they no longer require your WIN or your wildlife identification number. Now they simply require your name, the phone number, or the outfitter's information if you're in that game. Those are just some of the key changes that came into effect August 1st, 2025. And again, we're not weighing in, we're just trying to distribute this information as best as we can, because chances are there's a lot of people out there that don't know these changes yet. For full details, check the ACA website, check the My Wild Alberta website, which is the provincial government website with these regulation changes, and get your copy of the 2025 Guide to Hunting Regulations linked below and available for free download in your Alberta Realm app. Thanks so much for watching, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing. We post fresh new hunting and fishing content every single day. In the meantime, stay safe out there, have fun, and enjoy playing the game.